So it's time for us to make a Glamelia. We are going to be using the beautiful glads that we got from Gladaway Gardens to create a Glamelia today. And so you'll notice that our camera's closer because we're going to do close work stuff. And so we're going to shoot it down towards the table and you're going to be able to see my hands. So you won't be seeing my face as we do this, but it's going to allow you to understand more about this Glamelia and the process that we use to create it. So a Glamelia is a composite flower. So what that means is we take the different blooms of one type of a flower and we create them into a bigger flower that is made up of those blooms. You can do it with roses, you can do it with alstroemeria, you can do it with gladiolus. Gladiolus were the first thing that people did it with, and that's how they came up with the name Glamelia, because it kind of looks like a camellia blossom, but it's made with glads. So camellia, gladiola, glamelia. The Duchess Rose was very popular as well. You can go to my uBloom website, ubloom.com, and you can check out and search composite flowers, because I have some videos up there about creating composite flowers. I've created one with calla lilies before. So there's all sorts of fun projects that you can see that way. But today we're going to be creating the Glamelia. And so we're going to be taking our different blooms like this and we're going to be dividing them up. So let's move the camera so you can see what we're doing. All right. So we're going to move it down here just like that. There we go. How about it? There we are. So first of all, we need a base for our Glamelia. And so the easiest thing for me to get my hands on are these ribbon bolt backs. It's a piece of cardboard that is from a piece of ribbon. You also could use the cardboard that they have for homecoming moms. They make these backs for homecoming moms in Texas too. That's a great thing. Or you could use a paper plate. If you were going to use a paper plate, you want to use a paper one, not a plastic one, because the glue we're going to be using is Oasis adhesive. And Oasis adhesive or rubber cement could be used to create this, not hot glue. Never use hot glue. Use cold adhesive. So either Oasis cold adhesive or rubber cement. But that will eat through a plastic paper plate. So that's why you wouldn't use a plastic paper plate. They come in different sizes. You know, you have different bolts. So you can use smaller ones, bigger ones, whatever. We're going to use the bigger size today. Okay. And we're going to work with it. So I took it off my ribbon bolt. Whenever I run out of ribbon, I just take the ends and I save them so that I have them for the next project I want to use them for. We're going to use an awl. Okay. And that awl is, looks like this, a little pointy, like an ice pick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a hole through here because it's, it's pretty good cardboard. This is from my friends at theribbonroll.com. And that was where the ribbon came from. So, this is a really sturdy ribbon. So I made 4 holes, right? And then I'm going to use my pipe cleaners. These are moss green colored pipe cleaners. And I'm going to stick them through there and through here to the other side like that. See how that is through on that side and through on this side? Okay. And then we're just going to pull it tight. Okay. And then if you wanted to, you could paint this a different color. Maybe you wanted to paint it. You could paint it a matching lavender. You could paint it green if you wanted to, or you could cover it with silk leaves on the backside or with regular foliage on the backside. We're not going to explore those possibilities today. I advise you to go to ubloom.com and you can see how to finish off different backs. There's several different ways. But today we're going to be using this for our basis. Okay. And so what you need is you need a ribbon back and you need 2 pieces of chenille stem and an awl to make the holes. All right. So we've done that. Now, we're also going to be using our floral adhesive. But before we get to using the floral adhesive and gluing things on here, we have to get our blooms ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a beautiful bloom like this. We're going to take another bloom like this. And we're going to take another bloom like this. And we're going to set those aside. Okay? Because we're going to use those for the center. But then we'll use these 2 over here. I don't think, well, maybe I'm going to hold this guy over there too, okay? Then we'll come back here We'll get some more. Oh, see, this is going to be a nice one too for my center. I'm going to leave it up there, okay? And then we'll take off more blooms here. The open ones are really the ones that we're going to need. So ones like this not as good as this, okay? And I'm going to take off a few more than I actually think I'm going to need today, because I don't want to have to go back and get these going and get them ready again if I need them later, if I need more. And since we're making a big sized one, we're going to need more blooms. Okay, so I'm just pulling these off of the side of those glads. And I'm putting this glad back in the bucket. Okay, I'm going to add this glad. I'm going to put it back in the bucket because it's going to bloom again, and I'm going to still be able to use that. It's still usable, not a problem. Okay, so the only thing about this is it's a little bit time consuming, and that's okay. When I was a kid, my grandpa would make these, and he would wire and tape them. And when I learned about gluing them, I was just like, I will never, ever, ever do these wired and taped. I'm only going to do them as a, okay, look at that. See? So I got open, 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 open. Those are going to still open up. Great. Go back in the bucket. And I think we should have enough. Okay. So now the next step, we don't need the calyx. Okay, so we're going to take off the calyx on these and throw that away. So it's the little piece of greenery that's on there. We're just going to remove those. And I'm not going to, I will take those off as I go, because I'm going to show you the next step that we're going to go ahead and do. And I can use either a knife for this, or I can use my compact pruners from Dram, which are going to be great because they are so wonderful. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to move these guys out of the way so I make sure that you can see really well what we're going to do. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut right here. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow this stamen and pistil inside here to come out. Okay, so that's come out of there, and then I can separate these into two pieces. Okay, so trim, separate, and look at this one. Look at that, came out in a piece like that. That's going to be okay. So I'm just going to be trimming these guys and opening them up. Trimming, opening up. Trimming, opening up. Okay, so you can see how this starts to work. Now, here's that one that wasn't very open, okay? And so when I trim him, he's not going to open up as well. See, that one didn't work as well as the other ones did. So that's why we want to make sure that we're using the open blossoms. And that's why it's so important. So as you know, if you watch the prep video that I did for the glads, that we prepped them using our Chrysal Professional Glory, our Chrysal Professional 3. We use Chrysal Professional 3, and we put them in cold water, and we set them out at room temperature. Now look at this one. Has a bad little bloom on there, a bad little leaf petal like that. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. And so now here's the other thing. Okay, as I'm doing this, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to save time and show you. So we're going to be gluing these on here like this. We're going to be gluing those onto our back here. And so what I really need to do is I need to be turning these upside down as I'm using them, as I'm getting them ready. So we're going to turn them upside down on the table, not right side up. And we're just going to arrange them on the table back side up. See, also, that's that one that wasn't very open, and look at how it doesn't want to lay flat like the other ones do. And so laying those out flat, backside is going to be more important. Okay. So again, taking out the stamens as we do that, and we're going to lay it backside up. Cutting it right there so that we can open it up very easily and turning the back sides up. So in my career, as I had a really good friend in high school. Her name's Barbie Martin. And she wanted Glamelias for her bridesmaids. And she wanted the Glamelias to be the size of dinner plates. And, you know, so I went out and I bought Chinette paper plates that were dinner plate size. And I created them on the Chinette dinner plates. And each one of their bridesmaids carried a Glamelia. Now, the other interesting thing about it, I thought that she was very innovative. This was back in the probably early 80s. She had her brother be her maid of honor. And so her brother had a Gladiola boutonniere. But she had a brother be the man of honor, I guess, is probably the correct term. But I thought that that was cool that, you know, her best friend was her brother. And so she had him instead of a maid of honor. Okay, so we're laying these all upside down and we're getting to that point where we're going to be able to construct everything and get everything put together. And look at this mess I've made over here. We're going to clean that up and get rid of it. But look at this compact pruner, crazy about it, from Dram. Just so easy for me to do my job. It just cuts through that so quickly and easily. And typically I would be using a knife. And you know what? My friend Jessica at Dram she has been selling me on all the different ways I can utilize my Dram compact pruner. We've discovered another one, Jess. So there we go. Okay, so now I have all this junk back over here that needs to go away. All right, because we've got to have a clean surface. You'll also notice that on my table, I put down a piece of brown craft paper so that we've got the whole table covered here. And over here for this one, we're going to do something different with those pieces, but we're going to do that piece last. Okay, so that's what those guys are over here waiting for, that last little thing that we're going to do over there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start with our Oasis Floral Adhesive. I love this product. It's a great product. It comes in a box like this, and it comes with a little tube inside, okay? And inside there's a tube of the adhesive. It has a black cap. It's a NASA space age plastic, okay, that won't stick to glue, okay? But the problem is that it's black, okay? And if I set that little cap on this table and I've got all my stuff, and you saw me just throw everything away, I'll lose that cap. So here is a trick that I learned. I take my box and I just cut an X into my box with my knife, okay? I cut a little X in there. And then I'm going to take this cap off and I'm going to stick it in that X. Now, I'm not going to lose this box, so I know where that cap's going to be the whole time. All right? This is just a good trick. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and when I turn this upside down, I don't really have to push on it very hard. I actually just let it kind of be upside down and move it back and forth, and the glue comes out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along here and I'm going to apply glue to the back and the bottom, right around that little neck area, with my glue bottle, okay? And I'm not really pushing. I'm just bringing it out there, and I'm getting a good quantity of glue too on all of these surfaces. Now, the thing about this glue is that as it dries, it becomes a little more tacky. And so just like rubber cement, you know, when you use rubber cement, how you apply it on one surface and then you apply it on the other surface and then you put the two surfaces together. That's what we're going to do with this Oasis adhesive. Now, I know that people are worried about the fact that the Oasis adhesive maybe isn't clear. And it doesn't, you know what? None of this is going to show up. You're not going to see any of it. So it's going to be okay. Now, lasting quality too on this. Once we make this Glamelia, we could make it up on Thursday or Friday if we needed it for Saturday. And specifically, we could make the back. Well, we could make the whole thing. We could make the whole thing up on Thursday or Friday for a Saturday event. Once it's out of the cooler and being used, it's going to last about 5 to 8 hours. That's about all it's going to. So this is a special event thing, okay? So now I've applied glue to all of those. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to apply glue to my back piece of cardboard. And now you can see probably a little bit better how I'm applying that. I'm going to have plenty of glue, and I'm just giving a little bit of pressure with my hand here, not a lot, but I'm just going all the way around here to ensure that I have glue on all the surface. And while we're doing this, you could probably time it, but we've allowed the petals on the table to dry a little bit, okay? And this glue on this is drying a little bit too as I'm creating this, okay? And I would venture to say that this project is going to use, you know, a lot of this. I'm probably going to use half of this tube of glue for this project. I'm also going to make sure I come back and I'm going to put one more string along that edge because I want to be right up to the edge on it. Okay. And then I'm going to set him over here so that I can use him again. Okay, so this is drying a little bit. I'm sorry that you can't, the light really makes that, but if I turn it side, there we go. There. You can see how much glue I have on there, how I've applied the glue to that. And since, oh, here's one I missed. There we go. Okay. So I started over here. So we're going to grab that guy and we're going to lay it down on that glue. Okay. Next one, we're going to overlap and lay it down on the glue. And because I let these dry a little bit before I pick them up and put them on here, they are going to adhere very quickly to this glue. Again, like the rubber cement. If you've ever worked with rubber cement, you know how that works. And if you have the rubber cement, you could also work with the rubber cement, and you could use that little brush, I guess, would be great. But I just like the way that these lay out. And so you notice using these bigger blooms like that allows them to overlap one another very easily. And one more right there. Okay. So see how I've got that all applied on there like that? Pretty cool, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to come back in here and I'm going to apply a little bit of glue on the edges of these other glad blossoms. It's not that important, but it's just super helpful. So then I'm going to go on top there. I'm going to go on top there because what I want to make sure, so look like in there, see how I've covered that up? I want my next layer as we go around to be sure that it covers the other layer. These gorgeous glads, gorgeous lavender glads from my friend Bonnie at Gladiolus Gardens. So sweet to send these to us so that we could do these projects together. And the quality of these glads is just phenomenal. So look at that. Look at how it's starting to look. Really awesome. I'm going to tuck a little bit more glue in here in just a couple little spots, just to be sure that we've got everybody going to cover up everything. Okay. As we get to the center, you're going to notice, and we want to make sure that our glue is touching glue. It can't be setting on top of one of these flowers. That little glue adhesive part has to touch the glue on the other part of our ribbon bolt back that's in there. So if things get in the way, you got to kind of mush them out of the way, get them out of the way so we can get in there and put that glue on top of glue. Okay, there's a little bit there. I need to go there. And I need to get a little one stuck in there. Sorry if I got off the camera for you for a second there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here now, and I'm going to put glue there. Excuse me. I am putting the glue on the flowers now, because in the center point, I want to make sure that they're attached. And I want to make sure that they're good and solid. So again, now this glue going on top of other glue, going on top of other glue, going on top of other glue, and one more spot here where we go on top of other glue. Okay? Look it. It's pretty fabulous, right? I mean, look at that guy. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right. So now we're coming to a very important part, because now we need a center to our Glamelia. So what I've done is I've cut the back off of this. That was that one beautiful flower that I had, right? And I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to put glue on the back of that whole thing. And then I'm going to tuck that down into the center. All right. You know what? I think I need a couple more pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more like this. I'm going to tear that in half. Okay. Apply some glue to the bottom, glue to the top. And I'm just going to tuck this in here because I needed one more set of petals in there. And this is the cool part about this, is you can just add a few more if you need to. Now you can imagine my grandpa trying to make this by wiring and taping everything. Oh my God. I used to watch him as a little kid. He would do it. And he would stand there and he would smoke. And he would swear because he didn't have a good time wiring. And he always told me that when you had to make a Glamelia, you always made a couple extra because it might not hold together. Now, I need to cut that stamen out of there. And then I'm going to glue this one into that one. Okay? And I'm going to cut the stamen out of there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue down inside there. Then I'm going to come back here. And this one looks a little more open. So I'm going to cut that off. Let me give it a little bit of glue. Actually, a lot of glue. I'm not using, I'm not even using a lot of glue, right? And that's going to go in the center of that. We're going to open that up. I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to apply some more glue. I'm going to go down into the center of that one. And I think I'm going to take this little bud and I'm going to stick that down in the middle of that one. Now look at that, right? That beautiful Glamelia. See, I feel like, and you know what? This is the best part about this, because I can come back here and I can grab one more flower, because every once in a while I will see a spot where I think I need a little extra petal action, right? And so I can take this and apply some glue to it. I think I need a little more petal action right there. That's going to make that look better. I think I need a little bit of petal action. I'm going to trim off that bottom. See, with my grandpa's, you could never go back and add. But this one you can. You can go back and add a few petals wherever you want them to be with my glue, which is amazing. I had a friend one time who said to me, "Oh, you don't get the same look if you don't wire and tape things." And I said, "Oh no, I will dare you. Anything that you want to try, I can glue something just as pretty as you can by wiring and taping it." And I am the glue guy. I mean, I learned how to glue, and I love how to glue, and it's great. And I will let my glue stand up to wire and taping anytime. The other cool thing about the glue, when I'm done, take off that goop on the end, put my lid back on because I remember exactly where it was. Okay, goes back into my box for the next use. Okay, I got a little bit of glue on the table here, so I'm going to make sure I wipe it off. Okay, so the other thing about this is that this will last longer because it is glued. If it's wired and taped, it will not last as long, because what has happened is wherever we cut off the petal from the glad, we adhered the glue to it, and that allowed it to last in here better. Now, obviously, we have those pieces of the chenille stems on the back, right? Okay, like that. And those chenille stems help us if we wanted to put it on a stem, if we wanted to have it be a stem. Okay, we could do that. And again, we could cover the back, and as I said, go to ubloom.com and you can see how we would do that. On this then, once I've completed it, my final step is this, my Kreisel Professional Glory, right? I want to mist this front and back and let it dry, and maybe mist it another time before I stick it into a bag and then put it into the cooler. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, it really is pretty dramatic and pretty fun. The Glamelia, a huge one. Oh, look at now, it's got a little shadow. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. A whole lot of fun using those glads from Gladaway Gardens to create a beautiful, beautiful lavender Glamelia that could be used for a wedding, or who knows, you know, you guys could come up with anything that you wanted to do. You could wear it in your hair too. Imagine this would be pretty, you know, you can make smaller sizes. That middle point that I made, you could use that just to make a smaller Glamelia. Okay, you wouldn't have to make it on the cardboard then. You could just make a smaller size. Really easy to do. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much. Again, Bonnie, thank you for sending these to me. I'm from Gladaway Gardens in the Central Coast of California, where that is the perfect spot to grow gladiolas all year round. Thanks again. Keep having fun with flowers.